Good afternoon, everyone. This was an eventful day, July 22, 2026. The Senate President, Sherwin Gatchalian, opened the session at exactly 2 p.m. on July 22, 2026, with 21 senators present, constituting a quorum. For some administrative matters, the impeachment court sent out today, July 22, 2026 at 8:44 a.m. the subpoena issued to the Anti-Money Laundering Council, Bank of the Philippine Islands, BDO Unibank, Philippine Savings Bank, Metropolitan Bank and Trust Company, Security Bank Corporation, Land Bank of the Philippines, and the Bureau of Internal Revenue, which was received by the BIR at 2:24 p.m. The impeachment court issued a subpoena to Violeta Camposano and Denita Constantino, the representatives of the Land Bank, to be present on Wednesday, July 30, 2026. For incidental matters, the presiding officer Escudero reminded everyone that the affidavit of Mr. Las Cañas should not be taken as the truth, authenticity of what was stated therein, but as merely for the limited purpose of proving that it was issued by the NBI as an open source information only. The presiding officer Escudero also clarified that the impeachment court has no majority or minority and that it is fair in liberally applying extensions of time to make clarificatory questions or interjections upon the point of order raised by Senator Judge Raffy Tulfo on the length of time spent in asking or making clarificatory questions or interjections. The presiding officer Escudero also reminded the parties on the transfer of markings and comparison of video evidence to be held tomorrow, July 23, 2026 at 10 a.m. He also highlighted the fact that the House Prosecution Panel only spent 6 days out of 11 days allotted for Article 4, for which 3 days were allocated for administrative matters. The presiding officer Escudero also gave a soft suggestion for both the parties to reconsider the appearance as counsels of their respective spokespersons in order to avoid possible violations of Rule 18 of the rules. For the presentation of evidence in chief for Article 4, the Respondent's Counsel, Attorney Vinluan, continued his cross-examination of witness NBI Director Attorney Melvin Matibag. House Prosecutor Congresswoman Jervel Luistro manifested that the House Prosecution Panel will not conduct any more redirect examination. The witness was excused at 4:37 p.m. In the middle of the cross-examination, Senator Judge Ping Lacson interjected to clarify the recommendation of his committee to file perjury cases, but he never filed such pertaining to the testimony of the person referred by the witness, Arturo Las Cañas. During the continuation of the presentation of the prosecution's evidence in chief, Senator Judges rigorously interpellated the witness and manifested critical observations to the respective panels. For the guidance of the media, the court's inquiries have been categorized into 5 major evidentiary themes. Theme number 1, substantiation of the alleged contract and profiling of persons of interest. Senator Judges scrutinized the NBI's timeline, the evidentiary threshold of confirming the existence of a contracted assassin, and the criteria for designating individuals as persons of interest. Senate President Sherwin Gatchalian and Senator Judge Amy Marcos tested the definitiveness of the alleged murder contract. Senator Marcos highlighted an investigative timeline issue, questioning how the NBI can be certain a contract exists while simultaneously expressing uncertainty regarding the identities of the persons of interest. Senate President Gatchalian asked about the probability that these POIs or persons of interest might ultimately turn up nothing. Presiding Officer Chis Escudero probed the operational details, inquiring if actual payment to the alleged contracted person had been established and whether that individual's background legally factors into assessing the seriousness of the threat. Senator Judge Erwin Tulfo demanded specifics on the methodology the NBI utilized to formulate findings regarding the hiring of an assassin, how individuals are elevated to POI status, and requested their specific backgrounds. Senator Judge Risa Ontiveros and Senate President Gatchalian focused inquiries on the Vice President's security complement. Senator Ontiveros asked how many security personnel were considered as POIs and if their sheer volume factored into the NBI's assessment of the threat's believability and capacity. Senate President Gatchalian formally clarified for the record that these security members are government personnel subject to routine reassignments. Senator Judge Bam Aquino verified whether the investigation into these POIs encompasses transnational crimes, noting its inclusion in the governing administrative order creating such. Theme number 2, mandate, scope, and interagency coordination and task force. Senator Judge Villanueva inquired into the task force's agenda over the next 3 to 6 months, asking if its investigatory scope is limited strictly to individuals surrounding the Vice President or extends to broader allegations regarding the Davao Death Squad or DDS. Presiding Officer Escudero and Senator Judge Erwin Tulfo examined interagency coordination. They inquired into the historical precedents of task forces created specifically for VIP threats, whether the Presidential Security Group conducts parallel assessments, and if the PSG was formally informed of the current threats. Presiding Officer Escudero additionally asked if the task force's mandate still actively pertains to threats made by the Vice President. Senator Judge Amy Marcos questioned the ongoing necessity for the creation and maintenance of the task force. The impeachment court for Theme 3 examined the NBI's objectivity investigating potential procedural disparities in how different subjects were investigated. Senator Judge Ping Lacson inquired into investigatory consistency, asking why the respondent was investigated and recommended for DOJ prosecution while Mayor Baste Duterte was not investigated. He further questioned whether the task force was formed due to the statements of Mayor Duterte or the respondent. Senator Judge Rafi Tulfo compared the current investigation to prior law enforcement operations. He questioned the procedural disparity in the execution of warrantless arrest, asking why they were aggressively effected by law enforcement in other cases but not in the present context, and sought to identify the authorities who ordered those prior arrests. Theme number 4, evidentiary weight of extrajudicial settlements or statements, retractions and witness credibility. Senator Judge Ping Lacson scrutinized the NBI's reliance on Mr. Arturo Las Cañas' ICC affidavit and Mayor Duterte's statements merely as open sources of information. He emphasized the need for evidentiary delineation, questioning why the official findings of his former Senate committee, which legally delineated between Mr. Las Cañas' original affidavit, his testimony, and his subsequent retraction, were not similarly utilized by the Bureau. Senator Judge Risa Ontiveros asked whether the Vice President had formally answered the allegations contained in the Las Cañas affidavit and probed the witness on the underlying psychological or contextual reasons why a person might alter their testimony. As to the legal frameworks, limits of political speech and justifying circumstance as Theme 5, Senator Judge Risa Ontiveros asked the witness to define the acceptable scope of political speech, while Senator Judge Kiko Pangilinan inquired about the NBI's monitoring regarding potential retaliation against the threats to the Vice President and the President, and he further posed a legal question exploring the framework of motive, asking whether the act of avenging a threat could be construed as a justifying reason or circumstance. Following rulings by the presiding officer Escudero on various evidentiary motions and objections by both parties, the trial was adjourned. Pursuant to the rules of procedure on impeachment trials, the impeachment court will resume session on Wednesday, July 30 at 10 a.m. The agenda is the start of the presentation of the House Prosecution Panel's case-in-chief for Article 2, with its first witness, Nenita Constantino and Violeta Camposano, both from Land Bank.
Okay. So 29 yung July, yung Wednesday next week. Di ba July 29? Nabanggit yung July 30.
29 ba? 29, rather, 29. 29 is...
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Opo.
Wednesday, yes. Sorry, I correct myself. July 29.
Attorney, question po. Walang kinalaman doon sa trial this afternoon. Doon lang po sa mga sabina sa bank and tax records ng Vice President. Duly served na po ba yung mga subpoena at isa pa, meron ho kasing mga manifestation yung nasa 5 senators. Ano ang magiging epekto ng manifestations na yon sa ruling na isubpoena na yung mga documents?
Isa-isa po, no? Yung una, yung mga manifestation po yun ay for the records only. Hindi na po yun makakaapekto doon sa current standing ng resolution as implementable by the impeachment court. So, na-serve na po yung subpoena kanina, 8:44 a.m. po inilabas ng Sergeant at Arms. Dito po yung subpoena at natanggap naman ng BIR ng 2:24 p.m. As to the others, I need to check the dates and time ng return ng ating process server po para malaman ko yung specific na mga oras. Pero as to BIR 2:24 p.m. na-receive yung subpoena.
Ayun, opo. So, yung manifestations or oppositions to the order to subpoena those documents ay para na mailagay na lang po sa record.
Tama po. Tama po. For future references po na lang ng mga future impeachment courts.
And then, pwede ho bang malaman na kung ano yung gist ng manifestations ng individual senators? And tama ho ba, separate manifestations yon dun sa 5 senators?
Tama po. Tama po. Basically, yung mga legal issues lang rin po na raise ng both parties, ng mga depensa, yun lang po yung mga tinalakay dun sa mga manifestation. They had an extended discussion ng mga points of view nila regarding the application of these laws to the impeachment case at saka kung sino po yung pinapanigan nila doon sa mga legal views na inilatag doon sa mga memoranda.
Thank you po.
Attorney, good afternoon po. Attorney, based po kanina sa sinabi ni Presiding Officer Escudero regarding the prosecution and defense to consider having a different spokesperson po, were there any statements based on previous conferences that were made by both the prosecution and the defense na were flagged by the impeachment court?
Actually, wala na pong nasabi sa akin si Presiding Officer. However, the impeachment court is just mindful and just giving a friendly guidance to both parties because, of course, namomonitor din naman po ng ating mga senator judges yung mga bawat parties at saka yung mga spokespersons po nila. So, tinitingnan lamang po nila na baka posible pong magkaroon in the future na possible na ma-break nila yung thin line ng kanilang duty po under Rule 18. Kasi po ang nakalagay po sa Rule 18, all the parties and their counsels, so kung enter po sila ng appearance as counsels, then they are bound by Rule 18. So, yun lamang po, pinapa-friendly, paalala lang po ng ating impeachment court na presiding officer.
So we're looking into most probably baka lang po magkaroon ng
Baka lang
change.
po, wala pa pong determination of any violation.
Okay, last question na lang po, Attorney. Regarding the...
Precautionary lang.
Okay. Regarding po the statements made by Senator Pia Cayetano earlier, what's the relevance po, if there is any, regarding the Senate shooting incident to the impeachment trial?
I can only comment po doon sa official action sa impeachment court. Yung manifestation po ng separate senator judges, yung motive po nila, I cannot hazard a guess as I was not privy to kung paano po nila na-formulate yung mga questions na yon. However, kung titingnan naman po ninyo, tinetest niya lamang po siguro yung witness doon sa propensity niya kung nagsasabi po siya ng totoo o hindi po. So, part po yun ng isang deliberation ng isang korte kung yung witness na yun ay papaniwalaan niya o hindi. So, I think doon po pumunta yung ating Senator Judge Pia Cayetano when she asked those questions to the witness.
All right. Thank you very much,
Thank you
Attorney.
Hey, Attorney, good afternoon. Tatanong ko lang ho, yung bakit ho si Director Matibag attended the impeachment trial without the receipt of subpoena from the impeachment court? Would that be possible po ba na kahit walang subpoena, just by
As you remember, nung first na pinatawag si NBI Director Matibag, he was asked to be issued a subpoena by the House Prosecution Panel, kaya nagsulat po siya, nagbigay po siya ng liham na hindi siya makakarating ng Lunes. At nung pinagbigyan naman po at dininig yung rason na yon ng impeachment court, tinanong po ng presiding officer yung House Prosecution Panel kung ang pag-attend po ba ni NBI Director Matibag ay kinakailangan pa ba ng susunod na subpoena, kasi natapasok na yung subpoena, hindi siya nakapunta nung mga araw na dapat siya pumunta. So, kaya sabi po ng House Prosecution Panel, hindi na po kinakailangan siyang isyuhan na subpoena for that. So, yun lamang po yun. So, ang korte po, umaakto lamang po siya kapag may request ang both parties. Without any request po, it cannot issue motu proprio a subpoena.
Alright. Next question ko naman po, attorney, is may mga yun nga yung kaninang nirereklamo ng mga senators na may mga iba sumosobra ng 2 minutes dun sa interjections and sa manifestations. Tingin niyo po ba maghihigpit po dito yung impeachment court on implementing yung 2 minutes?
If you consider it, mahigpit na nga po yung yung ating presiding officer dahil na rin kay Attorney Anica, no, siya yung nagbebel, nagre-ring, consistent naman po yung pagbebel ni Attorney Anica noon. At pero doon sa medyo sumusobra ng konti sometimes, makikita naman ninyo medyo mahigpit si presiding officer, papaalalahan niya, please wrap up, 'di ba, sasabihin niya. So, yun na yung parang last sentence mo na yan. Parang yun na yung warning doon sa Pero of course, as a matter of committee and a matter of courtesy as well to a fellow senator judge, medyo binibigyan ng konting leeway. No? So talagang kailangan lang niya balansehin ng ating presiding officer. And I think he's doing very well in balancing the interests of all the other senator judges and even the parties and the public as well.
Okay. Attorney, last question ko na lang po to. Balik po tayo sa NBI. Sakali po na magkaroon ng development sa investigation ng NBI, kahit na nasa ibang articles of impeachment na, would this be noted by the impeachment court?
As and answered ko na yan kahapon. Objection. Can you please refer to the transcript? Well, anyway, yung dyan, yes, it is an ongoing warning po doon po, admonishment, no, paalala po sa ating NBI director na mag-ingat po doon sa mga statements niya in the future po. But other than that, he is already very politically savvy as well, and very mature individual po in terms of our political scene. So he already knows as a lawyer as well how to be able to properly comply po doon sa admonishment na yon. And I'm sure with any investigation naman po, fair and true reporting lang ang gagawin ng mga ahensya ng ating gobyerno.
Alright, thank you pa.
Hi, magandang hapon po, Attorney.
Hi.
Attorney.
Hi po.
Wala rin kinalaman sa trial kanina, pero may mga nagtatanong lang kung magkano ba ang ginagastos ng impeachment court every trial day, at saan kinukuha ang budget na ito?
Yeah, actually may nagtanong na yan sa akin nung first few press briefings natin. I already brought it up to the Senate President Sherwin Gatchalian, and I forgot to ask the numbers from him. So I would need to get back to you about that, siguro by next week.
At saka may letter pa daw na parang yung defense panel, or si VP Sara sumulat daw sa kay Senate President na pinasya-shoulder yung catering, logistics every time they attend to the trial. Yun ba'y sagutin ba talaga ng court ang gastos, logistics for accommodating both the prosecution and the defense sa kanyang bakuran?
I'm sorry, I need to get back to you about that information. I am not privy to that information. And also, medyo labas na ng pay grade ko yan, no? Yung about sa finances ng Senado, hindi ko po scope or area of responsibility yan. I would need to ask clearance and then kung meron pong information about that.
Thank you, Attorney.
Attorney, during the questions po ni Senator Judge Padilla kay Director Matibag, may na-call out po si Senator Padilla na may nag-side comment. Kindly enlighten us, ano po bang nangyari doon?
Yung kanina po, mga ano lang po yun kasi may mga reaction po doon sa statements ni Senator Judge Robin Padilla. Tapos yung, I think napanood nyo naman po lahat, no? Yung sinabi niya na parang pinapanigan yung House Prosecution Panel. So I think the House Prosecution Panel was just making a gesture lang na sinasabi na, kasi prosecution kami, parang ganon. So talagang may side kami. So I think yun lamang po yung yung concern ni Senator Judge Robin Padilla na ni-raise niya po sa presiding officer. Kaya po nagpaalala yung ating presiding officer na to be silent and to behave when we are convened as an impeachment court.
Sir?
One last question. As we move forward po sa Article 2, kindly refresh us kung ano po yung madidiscuss doon, ano po yung pwedeng matanong doon sa dalawang witnesses po na ipapatawag po.
Okay. Yung sa Article 2 po, it is about unexplained wealth. So, yung mga pinasabina po na mga testigo at saka po mga dokumento, sabina doon sa STECUM tsaka testificandum, sanay na kayo doon sa mga terminology na yon. Yung next week po nakaschedule, yung mga land bank representatives po, I think mga cheque yung dadalhin po nila at na-comply na rin po nila yun na ibigay na nila sa clerk of court yung mga checks na pinasabina do sa STECUM. At yun po, I think they will just identify based sa purpose na nilagay sa pre-trial brief, na i-identify nila yung mga checks na yun as existing at saka yung flow po ng money. So, yun lamang po yung purpose ng testimony niya. As to the more specific and general purpose, maririnig po natin yan kapag pinatawag na po sila, tapos tatayo po yung prosecution counsels at sasabihin po nila, mag-offer of testimony po sila. So, doon po sa offer of testimony, yung very specific na purpose for the witnesses. So, what I can just say is the general purpose na nilagay po nila sa pre-trial brief nila.
Attorney, balikan ko lang po dun sa incident kanina kay Senator Judge Robin. Ano pong pinarasahan po ba o kung may sanction yung mga sinita kanina dun sa...
Wala naman po. General, lang po yun, reminder lang ng ating presiding officer sa lahat na just to be mindful about their behavior and demeanor in the presence of the impeachment court, na wag mag-make ng extra noise and actions.
Okay. And attorney, yung article na susunod natin, yung Article 1, siya yung pinakamahaba na trial days base sa pre-trial order. Asahan po ba natin?
Article 2.
Article 1, sir, yung susunod. Confidential. Parang 31 trial days po.
Nalito na rin ako.
Article.
Nalito na rin ako.
So-
Yes, yung misuse of confidential funds, no? So, I think mas mahaba-haba yun kasi mas maraming mga dokumento at ebidensya yung ipapalabas doon. No? Pero yung mga, kaya nakalista kasi lahat yun sa pre-trial order natin. So, yung mga number of witnesses that they are going to call are very comprehensive. So, kaya medyo mahaba-haba yung mga witnesses list natin doon. And the number of days na allotted for each witness.
Pero,
Dalawang land bank, you're referring to Article 1, the confidential.
Yes, confidential. Sorry, rather, yeah. Confidential funds.
So,
Yung
sir-
Article 2 pa pala, wala pa pala. Yeah.
sir, asahan ba natin na parang ganito rin na mas mapapaiksi or possible? Yung
Tama, ganito rin. May mga days na maigse, may mga days na mahaba because there are witnesses listed in the witness list ng House Prosecution Panel na for authentication lamang. For document authentication lang. Kaya katulad ng mga land bank representatives, dalawa po yung nakasalang sa atin next week So doon sa dalawa na yon, baka mabilis lamang po yung pagtatanong sa direct examination tsaka sa cross, or baka po kung authentication lang yun, baka stipulations lang po ang pwedeng mangyari, kaya maikli lang. So yun po yung mga possibility within the realm of possibilities.
Attorney Angelo po of Bombo Radio. Attorney, sa statement lang po ni Senator Judge Alan Cayetano, yung sinabi niya na may Senator Judge for the prosecution and Senator Judge for the defense team. Ano po yung take ng impeachment court dito, knowing na meron silang mandato na kailangan nilang maging impartial as Senator Judge?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Yung statement po kanina ni Sen. Alan na meron po daw Senator Judge for the prosecution and Senator Judge for the defense. Ano po ba yung take ng impeachment court dito, knowing na kailangan nilang maging impartial as Senator Judge dito sa impeachment trial?
Katulad ng sinabi ni Presiding Officer Escudero, noted. So yun lang po yung official na ano doon, noted.
Thank you, Attorney.
Follow up ko lang po yung tungkol sa letter ni Vice President Duterte. Yung nire-request niya na sagutin ng Senado yung expenses. Would you know po kung napag-usapan na ito ng Senator Judges? And pwede nyo i-confirm yung sulat ng Vice President?
I cannot confirm nor deny the existence or authenticity of that letter kasi hindi pa po kami nakakapag-usap about that. Even the Senate Secretary, hindi ko pa rin po natatanong about that. So I don't have any comment about that letter for the meantime.
Okay po. Ang request po kasi doon sa nabasa namin, Attorney, ay sagutin ng Senate yung expenses sa pagkain, tapos bilhin lang doon sa official caterer o accredited caterer ng OVP.
Opo.
Pero as far as you know, KKB po ba yung prosecution at defense doon sa kanilang mga food and beverage?
Katulad na nasabi ko po kanina, it is beyond my payroll. Hindi ko po alam yung scope ng Senate Finances at saka yung mga budgets po regarding yung mga tungkol sa pag-hold ng mga defense at saka ng House Prosecution Panel dito sa Senado. Baka po iba pong opisyales ng Senado yung makakapagsagot po sa inyo yan. Baka po pag kay Senate President Sherwin o kay Secretary Bantong po, baka po sila ang mas may alam po dyan.
Yeah, pero since ang impeachment court ay akin to regular courts,
Opo.
ano ho ba ang patakaran sa regular courts? Sumasagot ho ba ang mga korte sa food and beverage ng mga abogado ng either prosecution or defense? And/or?
As a matter of fact po ay nasa general lang po, general concept and statement. Of course wala po pong ganun na ginagawa yung courts natin.
Thank you, Attorney.
Thank you po. Thank you. Happy weekend. Happy weekend na.